Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Adams, here to talk with you about overcoming enmeshment. So, if you're in a recovery program or you have an addiction issue, what are the best times and the wrong times to work on your enmeshment in relationship to your addiction recovery? One general consensus is that people like to see addicts have at least 90 days of abstinence in their particular program from their behavior addiction or their chemical addiction, so that there's a stable program that they can fall back on before they start digging into other issues. Now, that's a general rule, but however, if the enmeshment dynamic with family, though, is a significant driver in the addiction or relapse, for example, so if I'm busy working my recovery from addiction program, but every time I visit my family, I turn into a little boy or a little girl trying to please my mother or father, and I relapse after my visit, then you're going to need to work on your enmeshment issues and enmeshment recovery in a parallel process to your addiction recovery. So if relapse, it gets to the next point, if relapse is occurring and there's a sincere addiction recovery effort and it's not working, then by all means, I think you need to move into doing enmeshment recovery work. If you find yourself collapsing often into your little girl, little boy, you can't quite gather your adult sense of your needed to create a good recovery program, you get into helplessness or I can't help myself sort of example, or what am I to do? So this sort of little boy or little girl sense of not being in control. If you feel that part is too dominant and it's related to being in a enmeshed family system and the role that you played, I'd say that you need to begin exploring your enmeshment in that case. And finally, if you're specifically in sex addiction recovery, this is a bigger topic, but let's just talk about it briefly here. Oftentimes, there's a disclosure of sexual secrets that's needed or even required in the relational repair with a spouse or partner. It's best to focus on this and get through that and get some stabilization and safety in the relationship before you enter into enmeshment recovery. So that'd be the one caution. I'd keep that separate. However, in many instances, it's almost impossible to keep that separate, partly because if the recovering sex addict here is also turning to his family or parents for support, given the problems in his marriage, he may have no choice but to begin to work on his boundaries with his family simultaneously while he is working on his addiction recovery. However, the one place I would say that you'd want to keep some separateness is the disclosure process. That's a very intense process for the partner and for the recovering addict. So adding to it a deep dive around enmeshment may not be called for. If you found this helpful and you'd like more information, please track me on my YouTube channel or the website.